Hey guys, back at it cooking again. Today we are making mashed potatoes from scratch. So I'll show you what I've already done because I just went ahead and got started. First you get your potatoes and you cut them up, or cut the skin off of them. And I've done 10 here because there's going to be about 12 people at where I'm going. So I just did 10 because that should be enough for everybody. If you don't have one of these, I recommend you go get one. They're just like $1 or $2. They are amazing to get all this off. So I did this, and now I'm just going to rinse them off because I've got all the skin pieces on there. So I'm just going to rinse all these off here. Okay, so got all those rinsed off. So now we're going to cut these into 3s or 4s, depending on how big your potato is. So, like this one, I'll probably just cut in half because it's a smaller potato here. But this one right here, I'll probably cut in 3s or 4s because of how big it is. You just want them big enough that you can put in your hand. If you were to put it in your hand, you can kind of cup it. So I can kind of cup that one there. Alright, so all of them are cut up. So now I've got my pot up here, and I've filled it probably at least a half, if not 3/4 of the way up. And I'm just going to put my potatoes in there now. Okay, so now I'm just going to set it on the stove. So now I got it on the stove, so I'm going to set my timer here. Or not my timer. I'm going to set mine on dual and high. So you just want these to boil. And you're going to boil them for about, excuse me, about 10, 15 minutes. And then check them, because depending on how hot your stove gets, they may be done in 10 or 15 minutes. Other stoves, if it doesn't get as hot, then it may take up to 30. So I'm going to check on it here in about 10 minutes and see if they're done. You'll know when they're done because you'll be able to stick a fork through them very easily. Alright, so my pot is starting to warm up just a little bit, but it hasn't started boiling. So I'm going to go ahead and add some salt at this point. And just however much you like to season. Some people like a whole lot of salt. Some people don't like as much. Whatever you think that you want, just put as much as you think. Alright, so we have been boiling for probably about 3 to 5 minutes now. So I'm going to add garlic pepper, or garlic powder, sorry. Now, if you have garlic salt, then skip the first step where I added the salt. And just put the garlic salt in there. But I just have garlic powder. And this is another one of those things. This is pretty much all of this recipe is to taste. So you just put however much you want in there. And I usually don't stir up my salt or my garlic because the boiling will do that job for you. So this right here is my little potato smasher. Once again, if you don't have one of these, I definitely suggest you go and get one of these. That's the best way to smash your potatoes, I think. But if you have one of the blend mixer things, then you can use one of those too. But I just like this better. It gives you a little bit more chunk to it, and I like my potatoes to be a little more thicker than super thin, and that's how you'll get it. You'll achieve it with this. And I've got my butter laid out here. I've got about 3/4 of a cup here. You don't really need that much butter because I'm also going to add milk and just a little bit of ranch dressing on top of it as well. And this is one thing that my husband will let me slide on, is ranch for this. I don't use a whole lot of the ranch. Got this for $1. Your milk, this is just a half gallon, so it was about $1.50, $2, something like that. And my butter for the whole tub was $2.50 or $3. So, I mean, this might be 20 cents or something like that out of it. I mean, it's not a whole lot out of that bucket. And my potatoes were, go back over here to my potatoes. My potatoes were about, well, they were super cheap because they were doing a buy one, get one free. The potatoes were $3 a bag. So this is my second potato bag that I'm using. So this was for free. So I mean, if I used $1.50, so this might be $5 altogether for homemade potatoes. So that's pretty nice. So I told you knew that your potatoes are done whenever you can stick a fork through it relatively easily. And it's actually falling apart while I stick my fork in it. So that's good. And I'm not putting hardly any pressure at all to get my fork through here. So that's good. So that means that the potatoes are done. So now I'm going to put my potatoes into my plastic bowl. Now, if you don't have a big plastic bowl, then you can use your pot that you boiled them in. You just have to strain out the water to do it. Now, before I even start smashing, I'm going to go ahead and add my butter to this. And now we mash. So now you can see that the potatoes are mashed up, but they're not real juicy. Now, in order for me to get the juiciness and the good consistency of this, I don't add more butter because too much butter is a bad thing. So I'm going to add just a little bit of milk here. And I'm also going to add a little bit of that ranch. About out of ranch. And the ranch, I just kind of put a few blobs on there. It just kind of gives it a little bit of a different taste. A little bit extra flavor there. And now you can see that my consistency is getting a little better the more that I smash down on these. So now you can see the consistency is a little bit better with that. So now what I'm going to do is add some salt and pepper to it. Even though I had a little bit of salt earlier, I'm just going to add some more because we did put some milk and some other ingredients in there, so you need to kind of offset the other ingredients just a little bit. And then I add the pepper. Now with the pepper, I kind of do just enough to coat the top of it a little bit to where everything on top looks a little peppery. That's going to make me sneeze. So you can see here everything has got just a little bit of pepper on it. And now I'm just going to use a mixing spoon just to mix all that part in. Alright, so now I've got my mashed potatoes. And back to my old trusty serving bowl, I am going to put my mashed potatoes into this bowl because it has a lid and I will be able to carry it a little easier. Alrighty, so now I got my mashed potatoes, so I will cover that up and we'll take that tonight. Now, quick recap, super easy, super simple recipe. Get your potatoes, skin them, then chop them up, then boil them for, I probably boiled mine for about 15 minutes, maybe 20, instead of 10 to 15. But I had pretty big chunks. If you do smaller chunks of the potatoes, then it's not going to take you nearly as long. Then you put it in the bowl and mash them up and add the ingredients that you like. Now, I always add salt, garlic, butter, ranch, and milk. Sorry, I couldn't think of that. And then I always add a little bit more salt and pepper at the end. So if you try it and like it, let me know. Once again, if you don't, because I don't want to hear it. Thank you.